Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Disruptive Podcast. Disruptive Podcast.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Disruptive Podcast. I'm your host Spencer, and this is your host Robin, and we have a really special guest today. Someone
Very
that I've been
special.
trying to get on the podcast for a bit, and
He's been avoiding. No, I'm kidding.
nah, he hasn't been avoiding. It's just when we were digital, I want to make sure it was visual, and I contacted him a couple months ago.
Hell yeah.
To talk about kicks, and this is Luke, and he is the curator, the CEO, the creative director of Coffee and Kicks. So
sir.
make sure to click in the description below and check out his IG. He's got the best content for shoes.
Thank you, boys. Thank you.
And
Clean.
yeah,
Clean. That's all I gotta say.
yeah, real clean. Like this is a pair of them, and I know you notice which. And then yeah, they're all over the place.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk a bit about them. So Robin's gonna start with.
So, just a general question, right? So, you know how there was the hype with Adidas, hype with Nike. What do you think made it so that Adidas kind of died off and Nike kind of just skyrocketed? Because I know in terms of collabs, Nike just popped off.
I think a big part of it is how Nike runs their entire like promotions aspect of their business. They're not much of they are a design company, but the actual act of how they bring in collaborators, make an experience, make a design that is more than just a shoe or a product. It's actually a storyline.
Yeah.
Or how they like bring in all of these elements and then bring it to the public and then hype it up or create events that are based on the shoes. I think Nike, compared to Adidas or any other sneaker company in the world, are kind of the best. And the first almost to do that, because obviously with Jordan, that was like where everything began.
Yeah.
I think it goes with inclusivity as well.
Absolutely,
They're
yeah.
highly inclusive.
Highly
and
inclusive.
Everything.
culturally aware.
Yeah.
Of what
Absolutely.
they're doing. Yeah, I think they're
They have
so
made
step up.
mistakes, though. They have made
They
mistakes.
have made
for sure.
mistakes, like every other company, but
Yeah.
I feel like they're one of the few companies that faces it and fixes their mistakes and just keeps pushing on for greatness, right?
Yeah.
I like that they don't limit themselves and they don't talk about limitations because it's pushing boundaries.
Yeah, sky's the limit for them.
Yeah, and then think about it. Early 2000s, after the 90s boom of like, new designs of shoes, early 2000s, you started seeing some designs that people were afraid of. 'cause
Yeah,
it was
exactly.
way out there. But now, what's
And
the
you-
value of those?
Exactly. And it's crazy to see that even though those designs blew up, everyone loved them and everyone's ideas changed about them,
Yeah.
they're still making stuff now these days that are like, okay, those are too much. And in 2 years, 3 years, people are going to be like, oh, those are the best things ever. Like,
This shit
Yeah.
was sick. I know, yeah. And like,
it's always like that.
so we're talking about inclusivity here, right? Then what are your thoughts on since Jordan 1s right now are like an all-time? I mean, they've always been,
There's always a fluctuation between
fluctuation,
everything.
but right
so-
now it's like all-time high.
Yeah.
Not all-time,
Yeah.
but it's pretty high right now.
Yeah, it's probably
like-
like a peak right now.
So there's the Jordan highs, you got the Jordan lows, but people hate on the Jordan mids. What are your opinions?
I
on-
love the Jordan
So-
mids.
I do this as a bit of a background for everybody. Coffee and Kicks is coffee and sneakers. I have the same mentality for both of them. You can't hate on people for liking Nespresso because if that's what they got, that's what they got. You can't
There we go.
like people work with what they got.
Yeah.
If you got mids, enjoy them. I'm happy that you're wearing sneakers. I'm happy you're involving in the community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't try to make me pay extra for sneakers just because now you're into sneakers, but
Yeah,
enjoy the
yeah.
sneakers.
See, I'm a huge
Yeah.
fan of the mids. I like them because sometimes I think that, it depends on the design,
Yeah, no, true.
Your opinion.
right?
It's
And
your
the color
opinion,
palette.
Yeah.
I focus a lot on the color palette. Can I match it with my outfits, or
Yeah.
can it be the centerpiece of it all?
Yeah.
Right?
Definitely.
I don't know. I don't see anything wrong with them.
I mean, like, coming from, like, a sneaker standpoint, it was sort of like a Nike thing where they were like, oh, we made the highs, everyone loved them. We
Yeah.
made the lows, everyone loved them. Or somewhat people
Yeah,
love them.
there's a certain niche for those.
How can
guys.
how can we re-release the same thing slightly different from both of them that people will buy again? So that's
they
kind of
made
where
the
it...
hated middle child.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but I
Yeah.
feel like they made it because it was just cheaper in general.
Exactly,
Like,
yeah.
especially in
Yeah.
terms of resale market.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if it was sold out in retail stores.
But, like, the hate was before resell, before
yeah,
people hate
definitely.
like
No,
Nick sneakers.
It was at launch.
I think
yeah.
a big thing with it is it starts with the really OG sneaker guys, Jordan guys, who were like, if Michael didn't wear them in game, they're not important, or especially if he never even wore that cut.
Yeah.
So he never wore mids.
He never wore.
It was a pure culture, like style thing where they were just like, let's make a remake of that.
It's
So-
just like whatever was at the foundation.
Yeah.
If it wasn't there anymore,
Yeah,
then it's
exactly.
like, oh, okay, they have no history. They have no, So hey, why don't you talk about what pair of shoes you brought us today?
So
Talk about
first pair,
Everyone knows what these are. Yeah.
If you don't, you live under.
We got that. Yep.
boom, boom.
So-
These are the Sean Witherspoon Airmax 97 ones. The reason being, this is a 97 upper on the top and a Air Max 1 base or sole. The reason why these guys are super special is because it was one of the first ever collabs with a celebrity or person in the world a person who wasn't a celebrity or an athlete or a musician or a director or something like that. He was basically just a store owner and a reseller.
Yeah.
So first ever time in Nike history where they collaborated with somebody that they necessarily wouldn't want to collaborate.
Like an underdog.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Totally underdog.
And now the value of them.
They're
What are
crazy.
like what's the resale price for these?
Last I checked, I think they were up at like 1,800 Canadian, which is what, 1,500 US.
Yeah, around there.
I bought my pair for $180 or $210
retail.
Canadian.
Yeah, retail.
Waited 13 and a half hours for these guys. So
I think it was worth it.
And so the crazy story with these, a little bit background on the shoes
Yeah.
before I go into the story of how I got them. But it started off as a Nike promotion where Sean Witherspoon, the guy who created the shoes, was entered in a contest.
Right.
Where he was able to design a shoe along with, I think there were 15 or 10 other designers, and the whole world got to vote on their favorite. Sean ended up winning. People kind of were like, what are those kind of thing? And people didn't really love them. But he ended up winning. Shoe was coming out. In the year before the shoes were releasing, they kind of just got more crazy and crazy. People were loving them. There was a lot of polar opposite opinions, but I always loved them from the beginning.
Yeah.
Being so that I ended up waiting 13 hours for them before people even accepted that they were cool. But then obviously as they were releasing, there was like a whole bunch of issues with like lineups getting shut down or releases were over, like they were crazy to get and stuff like that. So
How fast did they go out of stock after release?
anything sneaker these days is
First day.
instant.
First day,
Gone.
like the day. Like
it's
the
like-
first people. The first
No,
100
this is
to
like
line up.
first minute.
First minute.
Every
minute.
shoe that is hyped or collaborated or like
Yeah, they're
really
done.
pushed by marketing,
Yeah.
you can, me personally, being somebody who's been buying shoes for 6-7 years,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
and with dedication.
cannot
too.
even get anything.
Yeah.
I can't even get anything. I'm not a like big like cheater, so like I'm not using bots for people who don't
Yeah.
those are,
Right,
and I'm
right.
not using like
Oh, you know those people who will line up for you and
Yeah.
you
not
pay
doing
them
that
for it?
stuff. Yeah, like
Yeah.
when I had the chance to line up for shoes like these, I did it.
You'll do it for
Yeah,
yourself.
Yeah,
this is
so-
like dedication to the thing you love
Yeah.
without like
Yeah.
any shortcuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my question is in the sense of the value of your sneakers.
Yeah,
Are you a person? Have you resold sneakers?
100%. Yeah.
Okay.
Like
and is it something that you recommend people for dedication?
getting into sneakers is huge because
Yeah.
especially people like normal people, you don't have you don't have $1,800 to spend on these. Like,
Yeah.
I don't even have $1,800 in these, and I have them.
And you have them, bro.
So, the biggest thing for me, I guess, was I never went into selling sneakers in order to make money or to be like, oh, I'm going to just screw people
Just
over
out
or
of
just
love.
like make people foot the bill. It was like, if I buy 5 of these, or if I can get one of those and sell it for double, I can then buy 2 shoes, sell both of those, get the money, and then buy these. So like
there was always an end goal. You had
there
an
was
end goal.
so it was like get what you could in the time to get something that's already gone. So like I would buy, I think one time I did like I really went at it to try and get the Mars Yards, which actually are behind
Yeah.
it. The way I bought those was I waited in line when the blue tint 350s came out, Yeezys,
Yeah.
and I got 7 or 6 pairs waiting in a line, and I just went in line, and I went in line, and went in line. Yeah, nobody wanted them, and up at Haven, it was like December, freezing cold. Waited for like 11 hours. But like you pay $330 for a pair, you sell them for, at the time they were like
Yeah.
600.
Double.
Made $300 on each pair. That was my money instantly. And I've been looking for the Mars Yards for like 3 or 2 years, and I instantly was like, okay, I made the money now. Time to put in the work.
Yeah, and then you keep flipping. It's like
Exactly.
I think it's like any profession.
Yeah.
There's always a way to make money of it, but also there's a passion to it.
Yeah.
People can think, oh, it's ridiculous to line up hours and hours for sneakers. I'm like, it's also ridiculous to line up for a movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Or an
There's
iPhone.
Everyone's got their thing.
Everyone's got their thing and passion. And then I've always been a sneakerhead, but not as
Yeah. No, I know what you
up
mean.
there.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm always focusing on Nike more than anything. And going back to why Adidas, right?
Yeah.
Why is Nike
Yeah.
at Mount Olympus and
Yeah.
everybody's striving to get there?
Yeah.
I feel like Adidas can and could, but never at the level of Nike. I think it's just one level too high.
I would disagree because they've done it already in the past.
They've done it.
It's a matter of who's just in the time, who's at the top.
I think it's because Kanye, he oversaturated the market for Yeezys.
Yeah.
But that
Yeezys,
was the
he
goal.
but he kept restocking it, right? So
Yeah.
that it become more kind of accessible to everybody.
Yeah.
But then because of that, it kind of died off.
It died off.
For sure.
Died off.
And I think that was the one mistake. They wanted to hype it up so much, but they didn't focus too much on the supply and demand factor.
But what you're missing is that was the plan all
that was the
along.
plan.
So they necessarily weren't trying to get people to make things super limited. They just wanted everyone in the world to have a pair.
Yeah, but
So-
with the hype,
Yeah, exactly.
the idea
With the
of
hype
the
idea,
yeah.
they wasn't. I don't know if that was the direction they wanted, or maybe they assumed it would still be hyped and everyone would have a pair. But which it still is. Like people absolutely love them. But
And there's a bit of collabs. Well, not collabs in the sense like Jonah Hill now is with
Yeah.
the Adidas team and
cool,
Pharrell.
Pharrell, yeah, he's always been in the team.
Yeah, he's always been in the team. I just want to kind of see like some more kind of things that I could wear day to day, but with like collabs and different things because they all have that similar canvas, and which is something that like I love Adidas. I have some, but I don't wear them as much because I like to diversify.
Yeah, exactly.
The design, the look,
Yeah.
the feel.
Yeah.
So. It's for me it's one off, and then I'm not even gonna mention Puma or Reebok.
Hey,
come on,
Reebok's
man.
got Reebok's on the
classics.
uphill right now.
They do, but
New Balance as well. New Balance is
Ba-
heavy on the uphill.
Yeah. The New Balance Comme des Garçons, bro. I want those. Those are nice.
New Balance.
Yeah. There was a New Balance Comme des Garçons. My cousin had them. I wanted them so bad.
Oh, sick.
It was like a sale colorway. I really love it.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it's like 10. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
the
Those are
shoe
sick.
that I want right now is the Chuck Taylor's with Fear of God
Mm-hmm.
collab, the 90s print. Oh
yeah.
my god.
Yeah, those are cool.
I love Converse.
Okay, speaking of that, what are some of your grails?
Grails. Huge Grails.
Yeah.
That was number one on my list for about 4 years. Because coming from a design background, Tom Sachs, I'm a huge artist.
Yeah.
Like designer, big fan of him. So that came out and I was getting into sneakers. I was like, this is the best. And then they were impossible to get, but
Yeah.
they're here. Huge Grails at the moment. I mean, I'd have to look. I got a list.
You got a list. He's got a list. That's just how
guys.
much he has, guys.
I'm not gonna lie.
I got a list. I
want
list.
anything Travis Scott.
I don't either. This is the list currently. This is the
You
list.
don't?
I don't know if you can see that, but we're scrolling.
Oh my god.
We're still going. This is stuff I'm looking for, guys. If you ever have a list.
This guy's
I
got
got-
goals, and
I
he's
got-
got he's in the gold rush right now for.
Currently I'm on a huge Air Force One collection.
Yes.
Love the acronym Air Force Ones with the big zip.
Oh my
I've got the all whites. I really want the original with the neon orange in the back.
Yeah.
And also Cactus Plant Flea Market Air
The
Force
Cactus
Ones.
Yes,
Market?
yes.
Oh my god, that's
Not
fire.
not as much of a grail, but it's just something I'm actively looking for. And they're re-releasing apparently very soon,
Really?
which is huge. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I heard that last night.
Mm-hmm.
And then also all white Ronnie Ferg, Friends and Family,
Friends
Babe
and
Stars.
families. Oh my
Trying
god.
to get those.
Babe
Put the
Stars are
little-
nice. A
love
lot of
them.
people sleep on Babe Stars.
I love them. I think
Yeah.
they're so awesome. But yeah.
See, I have a theory, and not a theory, like just like my mindset is, I think the best shoe ever created, the best, like the staple, the foundation to any streetwear you want, is the Air Force One.
Huge. Yeah.
Yeah.
Enormous,
Comfort,
enormous
They
shoe.
they go with everything.
Yeah.
everyone loves them.
Yeah.
You can never have too much.
Yeah.
You can always wear the all
It's a-
whites, and no one's gonna say anything. And
Yeah.
everybody's gonna be like, "Yo, those are crisp."
It's a huge shoe. Yeah.
I think it's maybe in the top 5 of Hall of Fame,
Yeah.
or even top 3 of
I
like
mean, if we're
everyone
talking-
being able
see-
to get them, and the power of
You can't say shoe because then you're cutting out like
Okay,
collaborations,
sneakers.
innovation,
Yeah.
silhouettes. Silhouette. That is like
No,
the top.
it's the classic silhouette.
That's a classic
silhouette.
silhouette.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Canvas.
So, because there's so many ways like you can categorize like what types of shoes are important
Right.
for what reasons. That is like that look is important. That's classic. Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember watching the Dr. Dre on his video.
Oh,
Monday,
yeah.
Tuesday, Wednesday. He's
Yeah.
got like a whole
He's got a
section
whole-
of his walk, like a
Like,
room.
do you
of
have
Air
that?
Force
Do you have a
Ones.
pair that you beat up, and do you have a pair?
Yeah, beater
just
sneakers.
crisp.
So I'm a big believer of you have them, you rock them, don't
Yes.
sock them.
Yes.
Everything I own is worn.
Worn. That's
Worn
good.
hard. Like
Yeah.
I have these
Yeah.
like they're pretty expensive. Creased everywhere. Like this is the 3rd pair, so they're kind of cleaned up, but I've gotten them worse before. Even the Mars yards, like those are
They've been cleaned already.
they're not clean. This is like straight off this is off the counter, like whatever.
Oh, okay.
Straight out of the shoe closet. But
Yeah.
they're ripped.
Yeah. But there are some shoes that I think just look way better when they're kind of beat up.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, 100%
And
agree.
we're gonna talk about the second pair
Yeah.
soon enough. We're gonna take a quick little intermission here, and we'll be right back. Hey guys, we're back. Yeah, we just had a quick intermission, a little bit of water break. I was getting a bit thirsty
Yes,
and parched.
sir.
So yeah, yeah, we were talking about these. They're
The Grails.
beautiful. The Grails. And we're also talking about
Recent
like,
grails.
yeah,
Recent.
the Grails that we have.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now, what is the story behind these? Like, what how did it all?
Yeah. You said you had 3
down.
pairs.
Yeah. Okay.
You've
So I
gone
mentioned
through
the guys
three
gone
pairs.
3
Three
pairs.
pairs.
Story goes, shoe gets the
Yeah.
the competition starts. Whatever. I don't think we could have voted in Canada, but I never voted. But found out about that. They started releasing. I was like, I keep on seeing them. They're sick. They're awesome. A bunch of my buddies start talking about them. I'm like, fuck. Okay, I really want to get these. These are awesome.
Yeah.
I find out a couple stores are getting them in Toronto. So I have always had my best bet at Exclusivity, which was a store on Queen. Now apparently it's shut down and everything. But
Yeah, by Queen of Bathurst, right?
different,
Between
yeah,
Queen and
different
Bathurst,
story all in itself. But
Oh, that sucked. I was
There-
actually going to look for Steve. Oh my god.
there's a couple stores that were getting them. The first was Haven raffles. Obviously, that was it was a bit easier to win raffles back then, but it's a lot like more challenging now.
These are all Toronto stores, so
Yes.
we're not talking about anywhere else in the state.
Yeah, these are all local places.
all in
Queen
Toronto,
Street.
baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, Queen
Fuck
Street.
Queen Street.
Yeah. And Haven did a raffle. Obviously, I lost. One of my buddies who really wanted them as well got the raffle, and he was like, "Oh, I guess I don't need to wait in line anymore." And I was like, "Oh, that was my one person that was gonna sit with me." So he's like, "Oh, no."
He just said it's
He's
not
like-
like the Marines. That
Yeah,
I'm
he's like-
leaving you behind.
Yeah, he's
I
like,
am-
"I got my pair, buddy. I'm going to bed. Sorry."
Yeah. You have fun. You have fun by yourself.
And it was like
deuces.
I think it was either early spring or fall. I can't remember, but I remember just being really, really cold. And
Oh,
Yeah.
and cold
Toronto-
here is
yeah.
no joke.
Toronto was no fun as well.
Toronto cold is fucked up.
So lost the raffle, and then I guess I picked my place, and it was like, do I want to do this by myself? The night before, I was thinking, I was like, I wonder if people are lining up already, because people sometimes line up like a day in advance, or like even like the night before.
The night before.
And sometimes like you don't really need to be first in line; you just need to be in line enough to get a pair. So I was like in my head, I was like all night, I was like, shit, should I go? Like, what should I do? Okay, I'm gonna sleep and then wake up like really early. So I think I woke up at like 5 or something, and I was like looking, and I'm like trying to go on Facebook, because sometimes people say if there's like a lot of people in line or not, but most of the time they'll just be like, yeah, there's a big line, so nobody else comes. But I started seeing like people actually mentioning, oh, there's not a lot of people, so I just was like, whatever, I'm gonna do it.
Might as well.
it,
Yeah,
yeah.
just go for it. And what's the longest you've stayed in online?
13 hours. I think I
Holy
did
shit.
11 for this shoe. But this is like 11 hours. This is where the story gets crazy, because I ended up going. There were a lot of people by the time I got there. I think I got in the city. I got in the city by like 5:45, maybe just at 6. And the
Morning?
store, yeah. And the store opens at 11.
You said that so casually. Yeah.
Yeah. The store opens at 11:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
So like already at 6 at minimum, I'm waiting that long. But then you also have to think about there are 500 people or like 300 people in front of you, and there's only one checkout. So store opens at 11. You're still waiting for everybody to slowly get their size.
Is there a limit to how many? Is it one per person?
Yeah. So there's always one per person, but there's always the chance that somebody can just go at the back of the line and buy it again. But the chances, especially with like huge shoes, like they'll sell out or there'll be too many people. So that's what happened to me. I got there at 6. I waited. I ended up being friends with everybody, and like it's a cool thing because like you're in a line. You're kind of forced to just like chat and talk and just
socialize.
Like,
you all have the same like.
Are there ever like arguments and fights in the line?
Yeah, always. This is kind of what happened. So
fuck yeah. There you go.
We're in line. We're waiting. Whatever, how many hours go by? It's like I had a class at 12:30. It's 11:30. I was like, shit. Okay, maybe I'll just go late a bit. But I'm like, okay, I guess I'll just go late to class.
It is
whatever.
what it is.
11:30, 12:30 go by. There's still like 150 people in front of me. I'm like, I need these shoes. I am too invested right now. There is no chance. No chance of going to class. This is it. This is the day.
Yeah.
And I'm waiting in line, and the line starts to get shorter and shorter. I was sort of at the close to the very back. So like nobody was relining up, and I think we had counted like some people would walk and just count the people and see because there were rumors that they had like 300 pairs or something. Yeah. And we were like 250 in line, and I was like, oh, that's tight.
That's
tight. Yeah. And then there's always like the issue with people just show up and just stand with their homies. So like that always happens all the time where people just go
the beef.
That's where stuff gets really annoying because then like we're at the back, I'm like 10 people away. I already know that there's probably only like 20 pairs left, and I'm just trying to get a size for the sake of getting a size so that I could trade it or I could pay more to just flip it for my size. And I'm like 3 people, and then these are all of the people that I was talking to for like the last 6 or 7 hours. Nobody's looking at each other. Nobody's staring at each other because everyone's just like shuffling in, like trying to like create more of it's less
like
of a line.
Friendships are gone now.
Yeah, all completely gone.
There's a certain point early on. Yeah, we can be friends, but when there's 20 pairs left, after it's like every man for themselves.
Absolutely,
it's like gulag vibes.
Yeah, so we're cutting there, and then it went from a line to more of a crowd, and then the crowd more of a who can get closest to the door. Who can get closest to the door? Because there's like a step up. There's a little veranda area, and then the door's got to swing. So the guy would come out and go, "Everyone back, stand back!" Like I gotta open the door or whatever, and. I can't remember what it was. Guy opens the door. I'm like the next person in, and I'm about to get a pair. I think there were like 3 left because they would say how many are left every time. Yep. He opens the door. Guy I've been talking to for like 6 hours. I'm about to walk in. Boom! Cuts right in front of me. Goes right in. Guy closes the door. Boom! No more pairs. He's like, everyone leave.
Really?
And I was like, oh. Like I was the guy. Where doors opening, I'm like about to like go around the door and the guy just cuts right in. And he's like, I'm not kicking the guy out. Like
you got finessed.
Dude,
I would have punched that guy right in the face. Right in the face if I had the opportunity. And I like they were like 20 or 30 or 40
which
people.
Is not what we're promoting.
No.
But there's there
was some anger there. Yeah, there's some serious anger.
Yeah.
And
you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, exactly. So I was pretty rattled, and everyone was like, oh, like I was gonna get a pair, but like you should have gotten a pair. And I was like, yeah, I know I should have gotten a pair. That guy, like
everyone in the line
were like, that was your pair, you should have gotten that.
And that's like the respect, like there's an honor among thieves,
because then that was like everyone kind of just accepted that they weren't getting a pair, but that guy should have gotten the pair. And
it was his pair. It was like
I was next. So it's like 1:30 right now, and I'm like, missed the class. Buddy got a pair. I still don't have a pair. It's cold as shit outside.
6-hour
I'm starving. I've not eaten anything. There's like a Tim's.
You can't leave the line.
Yeah. There's a Tim's, like you can sort of like if you when you make friends with the homies, you're like, I'm coming back. Nobody here better not do anything when I come back because I'm getting food. I'm starving. And then sometimes you're like, okay, who wants a coffee? Like that.
You get in for everyone else.
Yeah.
See the spot for you.
So that happens, and then there's another story.
Can't you Uber Eats to the line?
Yeah, but maybe I guess.
Like if I can put the address of like the Foot Locker, the guy will come in and I'll be like, yo, it's mine. It's my name.
I mean, someone else could claim it.
What about bathrooms?
Yeah, same thing. You gotta just be like. Go.
I think people respect the bathroom part more.
In the last hour, you can't leave the line.
Oh, like
Okay.
you piss yourself.
Like in the last like 2 or 3 hours, it's like you don't leave the line because then you're losing your spot.
You're losing. That's
Yeah.
true.
But it's like if you're 7 hours ahead and you're like all sitting in lawn chairs just talking, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, you can just like, I'm going to Tim's. Like,
Yeah.
that's also why it's good to have a friend there because then they've all got your back.
Switch.
Exactly.
Switch, yeah.
And then even when it's like somebody to rely on, when it's at the end of the line, there's always somebody who's like, oh yeah, this guy was with me the entire time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna sort of like do that for you or like kick people out
I
just
think
to keep you around.
Maybe I would, if I were to start doing that, I think I'd be groups of 4, and I would bring my friends that don't like shoes.
Yes.
So they
So
don't get
I
a
give
pair.
them the cash.
So back to the 350 Yeezys. That's
Yeah.
how I got 6
Yeah.
pairs. I was like, okay, and you get $50, and you get $50, and you get, and I get $340.
Yeah, there we
$340.
go.
Oh my
Yes,
God.
Yeah.
But it's like that's what people do now. Like
Mm-hmm.
even thinking about it, the reason why that line was so crazy and why it's so difficult is because there's a guy who these people who own these reseller guys
Oh, they got big money
will
already.
go to little kids who are in maybe early high school and be like, hey, you probably don't have $250 to buy this pair of shoe and own and then risk not being able to sell. I'll guarantee you 50 or $100. Go in there. Here's my here's my credit card. Go in and buy them for me. So I was like, it's impossible because there's so many kids who are like, yeah, I need to make $50 this week. That'd
Fuck
be
yeah.
awesome.
This is
I don't
gonna
care
get
to
me,
make the
like,
full amount.
Fucking points on
Yeah.
Fortnite or something.
Yeah, exactly. So
I don't know, man. I don't pay for Fortnite.
yeah, so like don't get the pair. There's another store called Capsule in Yorkville.
Capsule.
I've heard of that
Yeah,
one. Yeah.
that's doing another raffle. This is the first time I've ever heard of this, but they were doing a in-store raffle. So like you go there, they give you a ticket, and everyone waits around and they pick name out of ticket.
That's nerve wracking.
Oh
I
my
think
God.
I think they had like
Like number, like say
Yeah.
there's like 3 numbers.
I don't-
0.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
that
yeah,
could
yeah,
be
yeah. No,
7.
so they did it. The way it is in Yorkville, they have the storefronts where it's like store on top and the bottom, and it's like a step down, step up.
Yeah.
And they have glass. So the way they were doing it was they had a whiteboard, and they're just like, there's a guy picking it, and he goes like this,
So it's like a bingo.
writing it, and he goes like this. And everybody goes, it's crazy. And
I feel like one. I feel like people are like clapping for you.
yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my God, that's
So
like
what ended up happening? This is where things got really crazy because then that was supposed to happen at 12:30. It's now 1:30, and I'm like, I didn't get the pair. I can't even go to the in-store raffle because everyone who bought a pair already is probably already there.
yeah,
So like everyone who got a pair at Exclusivity probably went straight to Yorkville
right away. Or they had a friend already waiting. Just
Exactly.
In case.
Yeah.
So
People
I was
strategize with this stuff.
oh yeah, because it's a big money. Like
Yeah, it is.
Especially with Supreme. I know Supreme has a whole... They've made documentaries on it too.
Yeah,
If we're talking about hypebeast stuff, Supreme is
It's like the peak.
crazy. Like my I was walking with my father and my mom, and they're like, we were walking near the OTD thing. They're like, why is everybody lighting up, and why are they all wearing this like red thing? I'm like, Mom, you don't know?
Mom, that's $300.
No,
$300. That's like $1,000.
That's $2,400. No, and then there's one guy with the Louis Vuitton sweatshirt
yeah,
with the Supreme. I was like,
That's like
no,
10K.
That's
That's
10K.
10K,
I'm
bro.
like, Mom, right there, that's 10K. We walked in just for shits and giggles.
Yeah.
So she can make fun of millennials in our
Yeah,
generation
yeah,
or
yeah.
sneakerheads, right? I was like, oh, here we go. And she's like,
Look
what?
at these
This little
prices.
fucking flashlight. What's this? With it's a
$1,000.
I can get the same. She said I can get the same one in Canadian Tire.
Yeah. But
But
that's
this
what
one
their
just
thing
has
is.
a fucking sticker on it.
That's
but
their
it's
thing.
it's true. Many of their products are technically shit. They just have a
Yeah, that's what their thing is. That's
and
what
it's crazy.
that's their model.
I
It's crazy.
I salute the genius.
I'm not a big Supreme person, to be honest.
I'm not, but the idea of it.
It's the whole brand. It's
Yeah.
the whole brand itself. You have...
I've got being in that culture and like sneakers and stuff. I've got that one box logo that I wanted and I'm never gonna wear, but
Yeah.
I got a black on black hoodie with the black
black
Supreme.
the
logo,
yeah.
but that's the only thing I have. Just
Yeah.
because I looked at that like 7 years ago, I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I guess I'll get that one day. And then the opportunity, I was like, oh, it's like $200.
I mean, if the price skyrockets again, maybe
Yeah.
you can
Yeah.
sell that.
I bought it at Sneaker Con for like some little kid had it. He was like, oh, I just traded a bunch of shoes.
Yeah.
I'm trying to sell all my stuff before I go home. And I was like, he's like, I need $300 for it. And I was like, I'll give you 200. And he was like, yeah, okay. And I was like, that was when like sneaker Supreme was kind of on a
Low.
big low. Now it's like $800. I was like,
That hurt.
Thank you,
It
little
hurts.
kid.
Yeah.
First of all,
Yeah.
SneakerCon is amazing. It's
It
so
must
good.
hurt that little
Yeah.
kid
You can
right
just
now.
bring shoes and just trade with people, and you'd be like, "Yo, you want these?
Yeah.
or these?"
It's huge. It's big.
It's a huge thing.
The biggest thing with that is like the best part about sneakers is being able to like move with your assets and like trying to trade with people, and having that all happening at once and everyone is in a room. It's so easy because like all of that stuff happens on Facebook, but
Yeah.
it's so difficult since like, oh, I'm at work,
Yeah.
I'm messaging. Takes
Here,
a
it's,
week
like,
to talk to
live.
somebody.
Yeah.
And then
it's
the
live.
replies are late, and you're like
And then
desperate.
like getting pictures from people and you don't actually know what you're looking at. Like,
And it's also a huge trust kind of thing.
Oh, yeah,
similar
exactly.
to like eBay, Kijiji.
Yeah.
Kijiji is like the eBay of Canada.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man, if
Yeah.
he fucks me over,
yeah,
it's gonna hurt.
yeah. Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And is it
I
sometimes
got something coming from eBay. I'm stressing right now.
Where'd you get it from though? You got it from Grailed?
What?
Or from Facebook Marketplace?
eBay?
Oh, the thing I bought on
Yeah.
eBay was like straight off of eBay. But like
Okay.
sometimes if you like sneaker guys, like if some things are too old that people don't have, you don't have a choice.
Yeah.
Like this is a pair that I got. It's an old pair of SBs. Obviously, like everybody loves SBs.
SBs, yeah.
SB Highs, Syracuse. I'm waiting for, and like people don't really have them in Toronto, and if they do, they're way overpriced.
Overpriced, yeah.
And I was just like, can't find them here, can't find them there. Okay, I guess I'm looking on eBay. Like, I've done that for a couple of pairs,
Yeah,
pairs
no,
and it's
but
been really
there's-
successful.
Were you
There's a
guys
lot of
ever a
legit
fan of the
people.
Janoskis?
No,
No?
not really.
I'm
love
not
them.
a skater.
Well,
That
see,
was
'cause
only
I
for
skate,
really for
yeah.
a skater.
Yeah.
That was my, yeah.
Yeah, not a skater, guys.
No.
Not a skater.
No, not a
We're
poser.
not. We're probably all not even in SB era. So like
Yeah.
SB
No.
era is like before, like when we were like
Before
babies.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but for me, I think my SBs, like the era, was Janoskis that hype in the
Yeah.
mid 2000s.
yeah, true.
I had like 5-6 pairs in
Sick,
middle
yeah.
school. And I was just, yeah, and I still have my one
You
that
have
I
one
bought
pair.
extra big when I was younger. So
Yeah.
like in the future, I'm gonna have. I hardly wear it.
Yeah.
I hardly skate anymore. But
Yeah.
they're all black with the swoosh and the Janoski's hot pink.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
they're like my, they're my
That's the
babies.
Yeah.
And
That's
I-
what it's about. Just having those
Yeah,
pairs
and,
that
like,
like
to-
make you happy.
it's like some person's like, trash is another man's treasure. Those I know they're not hot, they're not anything, but they're mine. They're
Yeah,
like,
yeah. No,
Okay,
I've got
so-
a bunch of those.
What shoe you think right now is not hot, but
But
will,
can be.
can be?
And adding to that, can a regular retail shoe someday build kind of its own?
Absolutely. Like
Yeah.
retail shoes, everything or
Can
anything
have
and
its
everything
peak.
has the opportunity of blowing up because especially with retail stuff.
Yeah.
I'll give you a good example. There's the whole Jordan documentary Last Dance came out.
Oh my
and
god, yeah.
I've been looking-
Oh my god.
I've been looking for Jordans. They were always sort of expensive
Yeah.
and they were always like $600-700. I'm like,
I know Jason's got the satin red.
Satin black toes?
No, wait, no. I know he's got the Jordans though with satin.
one of them, yeah.
One
those
of
are,
them. There's
that's a
so
good pair.
many
Satin ends
varieties.
are
Yeah.
good, yeah.
And
Those
And-
are hard to get.
black
Oh.
toes, red toes.
But yeah. So essentially like satin
Just the breads.
breads, yeah.
Reds.
Satin breads.
Oh, they
Red
were,
ones.
they're sexy.
Yeah, they're crazy. That's a good pair. Like
That's
good
really
pair
good
as in to
pair.
get. But like the example where Last Dance came out, I've always been trying to get Jordans and it was always like sort of expensive. And I remember vividly December of last year, I was like, shit, I still don't have Chicago's and I've been looking for Chicago's forever. And there was a pair, I was in Shops
Oh.
Aura where all the like the reseller
Yeah,
stores
yeah.
are. And there was one pair vacuum packed for like $650.
Black toe?
Brand new. No, just
No.
Chicago ones.
Chicago ones.
Okay.
Like 2015s. No. Yeah, 2015s. And I was like, they were like $650. I was like, shit, should I just get these right now?
That
I should get these. There was those and Royals for like $340. And I was like, I gotta buy these, but I'm gonna wear these more. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna love these
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't have the money to buy these right now.
So
I was
you
like,
just bought the Royals?
so I bought the Royals for $340. And Last Dance comes out, and now they are $2,700.
so you could have made
Dude,
big
you
money.
But-
no, not even. Just to have that shoe. You
Just
know?
that I will
just
never be
say
able to
it,
get
you
that
could put it in a
sh-
pedestal
Yeah.
now.
But I don't even want to put it in a pedestal. I don't even know if
Right.
I will ever be able to get that shoe
Again.
because it is so incredibly expensive.
Exactly. That's
Just 'cause of
And
the
there's so
documentary.
many
This is-
Jordans like that.
This is where my second thing leads.
Wait. So just to finish the example,
Yeah.
there was a pair of Jordans that released called Desert Sand,
Mm-hmm.
Desert Pure Platinum Desert Sands, or like a gray with like a yellowed sole, and those were a general release that nobody cared about.
Nobody cared about.
And now Instagram. Everyone loves like the zine, like the schmood boards where it's all
Yeah.
like earth
Yeah.
tones and all this.
Yeah.
Every one of those guys has one of these pairs because they found it, and because everyone never bought the pair. People who did buy the pair wore them and didn't give a
Yeah.
shit about
Yeah.
them. They don't exist.
They don't exist.
They don't exist. You can't even find them on StockX, which is like the most renowned
Yeah.
shoe. Like
Yeah.
these, you can. There is probably 1,000 pairs
Pairs
of
of
each size
Love.
listed on StockX.
Varying in different
crazy.
prices.
Different in prices and
Yeah.
stuff like that. There's probably one guy who just happened to find a box in his basement. He's like, oh, I'm going to sell this with that shoe. So like sometimes GRs that are easy to get for
End up
some
being-
reason or another happen to be somebody, maybe even somebody famous. Travis Scott is the perfect example of this.
Yeah.
SB is the perfect example of this.
Yeah.
He's wearing all of these random shoes that nobody of our generation gave a shit
And that
about.
ties into what I was gonna say. Like any big celebrity who just
Exactly.
happens to like something that nobody cares about wears it once. One
Exactly.
pick happens.
Yeah.
Everyone
that
wants
shoe skyrockets.
but it's with the right people.
yeah.
Travis Scott is like
talking
the
about-
perfect storm of that because he's got the sneaker guys following him.
Talking about Champagne Poppy, Travis Scott,
Yeah, all those, yeah.
Tyler,
Jerry
the Creator,
Lorenzo.
Jerry Lorenzo, anything Jerry
Yeah,
Lorenzo,
Lorenzo.
I love because
Yeah.
his designs are just
Yeah,
they're
he's
very
killer.
me.
He's killer.
Yeah, we're any Kardashian, obviously.
I don't know.
We're
the
talking
Kardashians-
about yeah, but
in
I'm
terms
a little
of
bit
shoes,
more
I'm
of a
not talking
designer.
no,
about
but we're talking
yeah.
about the following. If they wore a random shoe,
Yeah.
they
Oh,
can
true.
blow
true,
it up.
true.
But
yeah.
obviously they're Adidas because of
Yeah.
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 No,
they wear Jordans. So.
but I'm pretty sure
Kanye just made the statement. He's like,
Yeah.
why can't I? He's like, it should not be allowed that I'm
Yeah.
not allowed to wear
yeah,
Jordans.
yeah.
But I don't know. He's an interesting guy. I love Kanye.
He's an interest. That's a great word. Interesting person.
He's an interesting,
Unique.
very unique. Yeah.
Did you? I loved his rant about the emojis in Twitter. I was like, what? I was on Twitter and my phone was vibrating. And he was just like tweeting. I'm like, what do you mean? But I feel like anyone
Any
can make
celebrity.
something hype in the sense.
Yeah.
We start talking about micro influencers and then how.
Yeah.
Let's just say 1,000 micro influencers get in touch. Let's it's
Everyone wear the same thing.
everyone start posting.
Yeah.
Start making this, and then people are gonna be like, hey, news feeds start blowing up. Hey, I
Yeah.
want that.
Yeah.
That
That's
shit
ex-
ends up in Pinterest.
That's exactly.
People start saving boards in Pinterest. I want these, and then
Yeah.
it's like a domino effect.
No.
That's exactly what happened with SBs. I think some
Mm-hmm.
pretty key people started wearing them, and then everyone's like, "Oh, those are kind of cool."
Yeah.
Especially with like our generation who have no idea about that sort of
Of
stuff,
that, yeah. The
or like
The past.
know about SBs but never really like invested in it or looked at
Mm-hmm.
it incredibly because we didn't really see anything about it.
Yeah.
And as soon as Travis started wearing a whole bunch of those shoes, like people kind of just blew up and was like, "Oh shit, this is a thing! Like, what are these?" And they're hard to get. Like,
Yeah.
it's something in sneakerheads or like these resellers' minds where it's like, if it's hard to get, like, oh,
It's
I
the
must
best.
have
You
it.
must have it.
Yeah.
So even if it's like the ugliest thing ever, like
I
I'll go on
need it.
record right now, those Chunky Dunk SBs that came out are atrocious. I will never wear
I
those
don't
in my
like
life.
Balenciagas.
I will never. How do I feel?
No, I don't like.
Oh
them.
yeah,
I don't like.
it.
them.
I'm not a fan of those. Like
Neither am I.
stuff
Man.
like that. Not a fan at all.
And people get it.
But it's like, again, this is where Nike's the best in the
Yeah.
world because they marketed that thing. They created a story with it. They made
Yeah.
people love it, even
Yeah.
though it looks so bad. And that's where I respect it. But it's like, ugh, why is that so?
But sometimes, don't you think that when the shoe's been worn by everybody, you kind of lose interest in it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like
100%.
for me, I think Obsidian. I thought
1000%.
Obsidians were so nice.
Absolute.
It's a
Yeah.
nice shoe, but
Yeah.
like everyone started wearing them.
Yeah.
I've kind of been like,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
really want. Or like
Yeah.
the Blazers,
Yeah.
the Blazer mids.
Blazers.
Even though I still want them, I feel like everyone has that shoe.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the
cool.
same as Vans, right? But
It's
like,
cool
I
to be
feel
like original, I guess.
Mhm.
Like in that sense.
But I feel like there's a certain shoe we can talk about Vans and like Converse.
Yeah.
But those are so old. It's like
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's a silhouette in the sense we're talking
I think
about.
it's more about like the type or the colorway or like the collaboration. If
Or
you
collaboration,
over wearing
yeah.
like a
It's just-
certain
you're like-
specific shoe,
exactly
yeah, because like Jordan 1s will never go out.
ever.
No.
Chucks will never go out. Like
Yeah.
they're classics. They're untouchable. But like if that one color that everyone has and everyone wears and like
Mhm.
it's gonna lose that little sparkle, I guess, in some
Yeah.
people's eyes. I guess.
And like, what was I gonna say? Yeah, you know Vans old schools, right?
Yeah.
I wanted to know your thoughts on the Revenge Storms because I know Revenge Storms. Everybody's like, why would you pay $240 for a pair of
It's
old school Vans?
It's that I don't care about them, nor do I want a pair or will I have a pair. But it's one of those things where it's like,
Yo, he just called your taste whack, bro.
No,
I don't want it.
It's just like
I don't
I'm
want
Just
it.
saying.
fucking with you.
I think it's one of those things where if it's hard to get and people don't
Yeah.
have them,
It's that same
and
thing. Yeah.
it's like if somebody who might know sees you wearing those, they're gonna be like, okay, respect. But like,
Yeah.
I don't care to get those.
And what's a message to people who are not sneakerhead but are trying to get into it? Like what or like
don't
even
drop
modestly.
cash. Don't just go in and just drop cash if you have cash.
Yeah.
Or
Do the
like,
research probably.
pick important things.
Yeah.
Like
I think get classics first.
classics are
Classics.
huge.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Like get your Chicago Jordan 1 before you get anything.
No, but look
Get
what
your-
happened.
before
He
it
saw
skyrocketed
Get your Air
Dodge.
Force 1, get
Yeah.
your plain Air Force 1 before you start getting
anything.
collabs.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Get your just regular black and white Chuck 70 before you start
Yeah.
getting all of this crazy stuff. Like
Yeah.
those are huge.
Exactly.
And then especially like get stuff that fits your style.
Mhm.
Like I've got friends who are like, "Oh, I want the Sean Witherspoons," but he wears like New Balances every day. I was like, "How are you gonna wear those? Like,
Mm.
it's
Exactly.
not
It's
even
like-
mesh with your style at all. It's
I
gonna
feel
look
like shoes
really
are-
weird."
personality as well. You have to find the ones that speak to you and you can vibe with. Because if you're
Yeah.
wearing something that's not you and you know
Exactly.
you just wasted money as well if you're not trying to flip them.
But not even like that. Just like get them at the right time. Like
Yeah.
slowly evolve your style in order to accept stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Mhm.
Like if you're in an office every day and you're wearing like polo shirts and you're wearing like dress pants every day,
I-
like you
yeah.
can't
I
start
don't think
introducing.
Chicago,
Yeah, I
like
can't start.
Saturdays
You
are
can't
gonna
start
be your-
introducing like crazy hyped collabs in your outfit. Like get stuff that's important
Mhm.
first. Like, get stuff that's like classic and
Yeah.
like
And I bet-
wearable every day.
I bet there are people that are like, oh my god, all the maybe slightly above like the age of like hype, right? They're
Yeah.
like, oh, I see all these on Instagram. And he's just like a businessman.
Yeah,
starts
he's like, I'm
wearing
gonna
it,
buy
like,
them.
yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
suit and tie does not.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like I don't know.
So, I'm so happy that you can come through.
Hell yeah.
I really enjoy this segment because man, I'm.
I still haven't even talked about how I got these. It's like the third time we just off topic.
Oh, it's cool. It's cool. We can even do a quick thing. What was like?
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it really quickly. So go to Capsule.
After the guy passed you.
After the guy passed me, I thought
lost
all
that.
hope was lost. I'm gonna go really quick with this.
Yeah.
Hope is lost. Go to Capsule. I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm just gonna see what's going
Just
on.
try
Go to
it.
Capsule in Yorkville. Yorkville's like a little small area in Toronto.
Yeah.
There were like sneakerheady type looking people everywhere. Like maybe 600 or 700 people because
Yeah.
they're like, oh shit, this is a good opportunity to get shoes.
Yeah.
It might be easier than usual because it's an in-store raffle, whatever, blah blah blah. So I go there. I park. I start walking around. All of a sudden, a bunch of the people that I see at livestock are like, "Oh, you're the guy that got cut off. You're the guy
Oh
that got
my
cut off." And I'm like,
God.
"Yeah, I got absolutely like
You're here.
That spread
cutthroat."
fast,
Yeah,
bro.
so like you're the guy that got cut off. It was like more like those 40 or 50 people that were behind me.
Yeah.
They're like, "Oh, you should have gotten that pair." And I was like, "Yeah, I know." Like, holy. So we're walking
no
around.
fucking shit. Like, tell me about it.
Yeah. So what happened was the way they organized it. There was a huge ass lineup,
Is
but
it the same day though?
same day. This is
Okay.
like 30 minutes later.
So same day you skip
Yeah.
class.
Yeah.
So because there were so many people there, when the drop, I originally thought the drop, they were doing the in-store raffle at like 12:30.
Mhm.
It was like 1:45 and they still hadn't given everybody tickets. So like they were just trying to do it because this is the first time I think they ever done it this way.
So
or-
people weren't as aware of what was going on.
yeah. So,
So-
no, well, I thought I was late and I wasn't getting a chance, but I got there and they were still doing it. So I was like,
Yeah.
oh, amazing.
There's
So-
still a chance.
Still a chance. I was like, okay, so spirits are rised. I start seeing all those people that cut me off, and the way they did it was they just had a big ass lineup around
Yeah.
Yorkville that wasn't necessarily to get the shoe, it was just to get
A
tickets.
raffle ticket.
People were just like walking and looking
Mhm.
where it end lined and just waiting. And that was it. And there were so many people there, it was insane. So like this line was like 5 blocks long.
Right.
And I started seeing all these guys, and then all of a sudden, guys pulled me into the line. They're like, "Oh, you're the guy that got cut off. We were in the back." These are like guys like I sort of talked to for
Yeah.
a while,
Mhm.
but they were like a bit further ahead. So I like it wasn't the last second where they were there, but they knew got cut
Yeah.
off. So they're like, "Oh, come in. Here's a ticket. They gave me a ticket, which was super nice of them. I don't know why.
Wow.
Guy had like 10. I don't know how he had 10.
Canada.
Tickets, but Canada.
I know
Guy had
that.
like he probably finessed so hard. He's like, "Okay, I gotta pay it for it, or else I'm not
Yeah.
getting in."
Quick thing. Those stereotypes about Canada, as much as
People
I
are
know,
nice, man.
it's fucking true. I've had these experiences
People
as
are
well.
they're really nice.
Yeah.
So guy gives me one of the tickets, and he gives me, there was like a special edition pin that everybody was getting with the thing. I was like, oh, okay, cool. It's like a little pin of the shoe. I was like, okay, cool, whatever.
Oh, for your
Yeah,
lapel
just
or
like
something.
completely random. But he like gave me one of them. I was like, oh, okay, this guy's dope, whatever. So I'm in line. They're still coming around. He's going for ticket number 11. I'm going for ticket number 2 now.
Yeah.
And they're like, it was a big Ziploc bag and a roll of tickets. They were taking one side, giving it to you, taking the other, putting it in. And I'm seeing the ticket roll, and they only had like, the rolls probably, you know when you like those huge ass rolls of things?
Yeah.
They were like, it was probably like that much. I was like, there were not enough tickets for everybody in line.
It's like
I was
when the toilet paper is running low. And you're
yeah,
like,
yeah.
damn.
And I was like, holy, if I did not walk at this time and saw these guys, I would have been at the back of the line and would not have gotten a ticket. There were like easily 500 more people behind.
Oh my God.
Wow.
It was insane. Like he pulled me in like at near the front.
So also the people that were there from the previous store ended up showing up too.
shutting up too,
Yeah.
and they were at the back. So
You
I
were
was like,
you were like,
so like my, I was
line,
like,
thin line
yeah, I
when you
was
made it.
like, holy.
and then did they call out your number?
So
Ah.
we're in line. This happens. I'm super blessed because then this guy pulls me into the front, and people didn't care if you were cutting lines really because it was super unorganized. Because once you got a ticket, you kind of just wandered around until they started calling it. So they started giving out tickets, ran out of tickets. People were cheesed everywhere, and then people started leaving. But whoever had a ticket kind of stayed.
Yeah, they're like,
and since
okay.
it's on the underground of a. It's like on the second level of in Yorkville. It's like the store on top and bottom.
Yeah.
They had the glass door locked.
the whiteboard.
Whiteboard
right.
and the bag. And it was literally just like a bleacher of people all along the railings, like looking over, like waiting. People on the street. Like it was
It's
just
a
like
gladiator pin.
pure crowd. Yeah. And
stadium.
one guy at the store comes out. He goes, okay, this is how we're going to do it. Explain the whole thing. He's like, we're going to pick a ticket. You're going to come in.
Yeah, we're back. So there was a guy with a chalkboard. He was
Guy
trying
with
to
the
tell
so essentially
everybody.
what happened was he came out and was saying how it's going to work and how we're going to pick people and so, and everyone kind of jumped in. It was crazy because I don't know if we explained this already, but I was
there's like, people around.
Everyone
bleachers.
was like completely bleachered around.
Yeah.
And it kind of looked crazy because there was just like a million people crunched in.
Yeah.
And essentially what happened was, I just don't know how, but I was somewhere in the front just for that reason. And everyone kind of around me knew that I was the guy that got cut off the last. And that kind of like, oh, he didn't get a pair. Like, I was like,
so they spread the word.
yeah. So like essentially a lot of people were just like talking about it. I was just like telling people, I was like, yeah, I was here and that. And
I
I
think
never
people
got it.
began to be morally supportive to you. They're
Yeah.
like,
Oh,
this
100%.
guy got fucked
Yeah.
over.
So, and that's why I got that ticket too. So I think so. So I had the 2 tickets because I ended up getting the second one when I saw the roll getting really short, and I had the other one the guy gave me.
The guy gave you, yeah.
So like, kind of everyone just going in, and they started picking tickets, and the way it was is one guy, whoever they're gonna pick a ticket, they wrote it on the board, they slapped on the board, and one person would just like freak out because it's like, yeah, that's my ticket, yeah, whatever, boom. And it was like they were giving out like. They had given out like 5 or 6 pairs, and like 3 of those 5 or 6 pairs, there was a guy in the back just sitting there without any tickets, with a bunch of kids sitting in the crowd with tickets.
That sounds
and
fucked up.
They would go, oh my God, I won. And then they'd look back at the guy and he'd go, okay, here's my visa, go buy this shoe. And they would go get the visa and walk into the store, and everyone was booing them. Everyone's getting cheesed. Everyone's
bad for the kids, man.
Yeah, I'd be.
And no, it's more of like a boo towards that guy because we know the kid's just trying to make a buck, and
the kids are like the innocent ones. They're booing the guy like
we're booing the guy
who's like
the
system,
who's literally just paying kids to be there for himself because he already got 3 pairs at Exclusivity, and now he's already getting 3 pairs at. And like, I've been here for 11 hours or 10 hours or however many hours, and I haven't gotten shit. I've got nothing.
Yeah.
I just want to wear my pair. This guy's getting any size he wants. Yeah. So it was crazy because like, as soon as they were calling these numbers, they were doing this stuff, and then all of a sudden they just read it on the board and went like this, boom, and I like down it. I was like probably the 10th or like the 9th person called. I looked down. I was like, oh, holy shit! And it wasn't just that time. It wasn't just like me exploding. It was like everyone around me. Yo, that's everyone's like, yo, he got a pair. He got his pair. Oh my God!
Everyone's like crying
out.
for you. Like
everyone's like, yo, that guy deserves that pair. And I'm walking in going like this, like.
And then you walk out the store with
no. So what happened was I've had 3 pairs of these. So I walk in the store one of the little kids for this guy walked in before me, and it was whoever bought a pair last picked the number, so he picked my number. So thank you, but he bought the last 11 and a half.
Oh my god.
So I didn't even get my size after all of this, and I was like, oh, what do you have? What size do you have? I was like, let me try on. I didn't care. I was like, I'll try them on. I'll try on 11 and 12. So somebody got a tried on pair. So whatever, I don't care.
Whatever. It's still DS. We'll say it's DS.
Yeah. So the 11 was really tight, and the 12 was like had space, and I was like, oh, okay, whatever. I'll just get the 12. Like I'll get the 12, and wore them out of the store. I was like, that is like, need to do that. I was like, this is too much.
Like, yo.
I wore them out of the store, and I was feeling mint. I got lunch in Yorkville, sitting there on my phone. I'm like 3 hours past class right now. I'm like, whatever.
Fuck this class.
Who cares about a class? This is what's important right now. And my buddy who I was with, who won the raffle originally, didn't go with me.
One that ditched
I started texting like, I was gonna make a joke. I was like, I didn't get a pair. He's like, it's okay, man. Like, whatever, but it's just a shoe. And I'm like all sad. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna swing by. Like, I'm gonna come by your place. Yeah. And I took the shoes off, put on my regular shoes, and came inside. And then just like went into his side. I had the pair in my knapsack, and then just out of nowhere put my pair on the table while he wasn't noticing. He was like, "Oh, you got a pair!" I was like, "Yeah, yes." And I did explain that whole story to him, and he was like, "Oh, dude, that is why it is." And so like this was my third pair. So like I wore that. I think it might have been like September, October when the release happened. It's definitely a summer shoe. So what happened was I had a 12, and this shoe is like it's all corduroy. So like when you start wearing it, it creases like crazy. But the problem is when you crease it like crazy, it starts to fray like crazy. So like the shoe was getting destroyed way quicker than it actually should have been. So because I had a 12, I'm usually like an 11 and a half. The 11 was really tight.
Because all that space
is just crunching the shoe because I was walking. I was like, oh shit, this is not good. So I was like, the more I wear this, the less they're going to be worth, and the harder it will be for me to get my size. So I was like, shit, I got to find 11 and a half right now, like as soon as possible. This is like a week after getting the shoe. Like a week after the shoe was already getting mangled. And I had seen pairs of people because they had like surprise drops and like on Sneakers app, which is for the States. Yeah. People got them months in advance, and they were only starting to look like that. And like how I had them in a week, months after, and I was like, shit, okay, this is not good. So
I mean, you wear your shoes, right?
Yeah, I wear them. So what ended up happening was I found a guy in Mississauga who was being so difficult because he had a brand new pair and mine were worn, but he needed a 12 and I needed an 11 and a half. So like I was like, I'll put in cash, like whatever, I don't care. I got these for retail. I don't care if I pay an extra $100. Like we're swapping. And he's like, it was like literally 2 weeks of this guy saying no. He's the only person who would be considered to talk to me about this because everyone was flipping them or like just selling them or whatever and didn't want a worn pair. And I ended up just convincing this guy, I was like, I'm going to drive to you, like 40 minutes to you. I'm going to give you $150 and my pair, and all you got to do is hand me my pair, hand me the size. Yeah. And it was like, oh, okay, whatever, I got to do this. Like, he's like, shit, I want these shoes really badly. I want to wear them, and I know what's happening to yours, so I'm going to just do it. And then I ended up doing it. So like, I got my 11 and a half, and I wore them for like as much as I could into the winter, but then I was like, okay, I'm not going to absolutely destroy these in the snow. So
the slush, the salt.
So that was pair number 2.
It's like sneakers enemy
right
there.
Yeah. Pair number 2, midway through December or midway through January or whatever. I think there was something I think it was buying these. I got them the Yeezy 350s, and this is like an enormous grail for me. The Mars Yards. I bought the 350s. I sold all those. I was still like a couple $100 short to get these. I was like, shit, should I do it? I was like, I sold the shoes. I sold these guys, the second pair. And that was like one of the only time I've ever sold one of my shoes that like I really love and have already worn because I knew I could get quick money to buy these. And I was like, I might be able to come buy these again. So
do you have any shoes that are on the way that you want to sneak peek or like tell people about? Like what are the ones that you've probably just ordered?
I got the Syracuse SBs, which are awesome. That's the only thing coming at the moment. But a lot of shit I'm looking forward to, be honest. Like, it's crazy. So, I mean, like, I was looking for these, for example. I was looking for these for like 2.5 years. And then the only reason I got them was because I had all this stuff they sold and I was able to buy these. Yeah. And then it was the biggest mistake ever because then I love these shoes so much because of the story of like what I
Of
just
how
explained.
you got it.
Yeah.
It's just that story.
That story of acquiring these is
It's
so
like
priceless.
What
Yeah.
builds the shoe?
Absolutely. Like I wear these, I think about that day. I
Yeah.
think about the trading, the swap size.
Yeah.
And then I think about me going into 2 summers ago, going like, it's summertime. I don't have the Sean's. I feel like shit because I just want them. And I have this story and I don't have the shoes.
Yeah.
And I think one day I just was like, holy, I bought a used pair on Grailed for
Yeah.
like $700. I said, I've already made my profit
Screw
on this.
it. Yeah,
I made
you're
that.
like, screw it.
It all makes sense. And then this is the pair that I've had. And I'm never selling these ever again.
The
I
shoe
only
has
had-
history, man.
Exactly,
It has history.
The
yeah.
only shoe I had to wait for was an hour for my PG3s.
Oh,
That's pretty much it.
no, I put in time.
Yeah.
I got the longest I waited for was for the overshoes, which is like the boot. I don't know if
Yeah.
you've seen them, the boots of these.
the 13-hour one, right?
Yeah, I waited 13 hours. It was like December like 20th or like December
Oh
like
my God.
17th.
Was it snowing?
Yeah.
Snowing. I'm like double jacket, blankets. Like we got there like
gloves out,
13 hours before.
boots, everything.
Freezing
Yeah.
your ass
But
off.
like my reasoning behind that was I waited 2.5 years to find a pair I could afford to get these and used. I had a chance to just stand outside and endure the cold
Yeah.
for 13 hours, and I would guaranteed be getting a pair in my size. And I was like, okay, like 100% I'm gonna do
100%
that.
you're gonna do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And if lines were still a thing, I'd wait for every shoe.
Yeah,
I would wait for
Wow.
every shoe. Because it's
Yeah.
like you were guaranteeing your possibility of
Yeah.
getting a shoe.
And
If
you're
you
just
wait
giving
long
it
enough,
time, that's it.
if you wait long enough, you get your pair. Like that's how it used to be.
Yeah.
Now it's like I sign up for raffle. I'm like, okay, I'm probably never gonna see these,
Yeah.
or I'm probably never gonna. I can't wait to have to buy these retail, or resale, which I never do. I always be like, okay, I'm gonna probably have to buy these resale,
Yeah.
and then never even buy them because I'm not even worth. It's not even worth buying,
Yeah.
which is good because you kind of understand like what is actually necessary and what's not,
Yeah.
or like what you should be buying. But like, holy, it's so
Yeah.
annoying.
There's just
But
some
yeah.
shoes, man, that you gotta spend all your money on.
That's put too much
Yeah.
money into shoes. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But I mean, like it's come from shoes towards shoes.
Towards
so it's like
shoes.
I call it I say it's a negative because like I've made all this money, but I put it back into the same
It's
thing.
The same thing. Yeah. I mean, at least
Yeah.
you have something to show for it.
Yeah,
I fucking
Legit.
love the story of these.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
legit. But like you think about it, it's an actual investment. Like
It is, and it's like it's like
but see,
for
if
any-
you don't wear them, I'm
Yeah.
wearing them.
Yeah.
but
and it's also not for everybody. In the sense,
Exactly,
it's
yeah.
your passion. Like
Yeah.
people flip homes, flip whatever,
yeah,
and this is to me. I have fucking so much respect for like this.
it's crazy.
Because it's like an adventure. I've seen
Yeah.
people travel to other parts of the world on YouTube,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Like
To
this
get-
guy in Tokyo has this one pair. He goes all the way there,
Yeah.
comes back, goes to Paris for another thing.
Yeah,
It's
insane.
I think what I like about it is the passion and the drive for an art in a
Yeah.
sense. And it's just like I applaud.
yeah,
I wish I had the patience for the lineup. And I'm
yeah.
gonna see if I can do that one day. See
I don't think you'll ever get the chance.
Yeah, you
to be
won't
honest.
ever get.
They don't even
They
do
don't do that
lineups
anymore?
They don't do it anymore.
Yeah.
That's why
And
I'm saying
they won't
s-
ever do it again because of COVID.
Oh yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
And there's not a lot of shoes restocking, like
Not
shoes
even-
right now.
Yeah, a lot of stores aren't getting a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just have to do the raffling thing.
Yeah.
Which is like the most
Hardest thing.
unreliable.
I'm
like-
just gonna have to start like hang out and being like, yo, everybody that I know, right? Come here and get a ticket. I don't care if I get booed.
Oh.
Fuck that.
No, but they will never do that.
yeah.
Because
It's all like website
Sign-
email,
Yeah.
address, your name, size.
Yeah, that's it.
What do you want?
Doesn't that bother you?
Oh, extremely. Because like I can't get anything. I used to be able to like, and for an example, if there were 10 pairs coming out in a year that I wanted, I could maybe get 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah.
It's been now, I think I haven't won a raffle in like 2 years.
Oh my god, that's
And
tough.
do you think
I haven't gotten a single thing for retail in like 2 years.
Oh my god.
And-
And I just don't buy shoes unless they're really old or
Yeah.
like a
Yeah.
classic anymore because like
Yeah.
if it releases and it's sort of important but not really important and I didn't get it for retail, I am definitely not buying it for $1,000.
Yeah.
Because it's not important. Like
Yeah.
if it's a shoe where it's like, okay, the shoe came out 10 years ago and it's a classic and I'll never see it and maybe I can buy it for,
For
like
sure.
400 or 500 bucks, I'll buy that.
yeah, because you can see the time
Yeah.
worth of
Yeah,
money.
yeah,
It's
absolutely.
it's like its own economical
Especially like
world
that goes
for-
with like
yeah.
the Travis stuff. Like some of them are really cool and some of them are really awesome and
some
they
of them are
will
ugly.
they will be important for a long
It's just
time.
the
Like
Travis effect, man.
the
It
one
really is.
the Jordan ones will be
Travis
important
effect.
forever.
Yeah.
But like most of his shoes are not gonna be. Nobody's gonna blink an eye at them in 5 years.
No one.
I don't think so because like
Unless
it's
he
such
does a documentary.
He's the yeah. Unless it just
Yeah.
unless he does this crazy stuff, but
So now we know documentaries give value.
documentaries give personal brand
Yeah.
explosions.
Imagine from 600 to
Anything
2700?
and like photo shoots, documentaries, magazine covers, and YouTube videos that they star in or
Yeah.
movies. That
It's
is
huge. It's big.
like for movies. Every time there's a car in a movie, that
Yeah.
car goes out of stock.
Yeah,
like
for
that.
sure.
yeah.
Especially Audi with any Marvel movie. Oh my god, it's
Oh,
like
for sure,
the
'cause
hype of cars.
All of these dads are like, oh, I gotta get a new car. That's a cool car. I'm gonna get
Tony,
that."
I want to be Tony Stark.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
sure.
R8. Yeah, he drives the R8 in the movies. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit.
And I think the R8 started before with
Yeah.
iRobot, Will Smith, the
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
concept.
he
That's
drives it too.
actually I think some artists designed it, and I may be wrong, don't quote me on this.
Mhm.
And then I think Audi said, "Hey, let's do a car concept based on this movie, the futuristic one." And that's where the R8 came from
I didn't know
iRobot.
that.
Yeah, and then
Sick.
Tony Stark made it the car to
Yeah,
get. Yeah,
he's
yeah.
just a badass.
So yeah, on that note, we're gonna end this episode. But
Yeah.
we loved having you, man. We enjoyed the sneakers.
Amazing story, dude.
Amazing stories,
Appreciate
because
it,
like
guys.
that's the kind of stories we love to hear and we love to tell. You know, like, oh, this happened to me and it's fucking crazy. And then
Yeah.
but I thought you were gonna get yours in this exclusivity, but
Yeah.
then there was a
No.
second part of it. with the
Second, and
raffle.
then my own fault, and then,
and then the trading with the guy because of the creasing.
I have a whole new view for that shoe now. 'cause
Yeah, and honestly, I want to see if I could take a picture with you with these shoes, just for like we can have our own
Hell yeah.
memories for the episodes.
yeah.
I really,
Yeah.
yo, thank you, Luke, for coming.
Thank you so
man.
much.
100%, guys.
Um,
Appreciate it.
Yo,
Thanks
make
for
sure
having
to
me.
follow him and plug in
At-
your stuff. Whatever you
At
have.
_coffee and kicks.
Kicks.
Started off just exploring the city, but I love coffee shops. I love sneakers. I've been taking these pictures forever, and I just decided I'm gonna start putting them
And
somewhere.
Yeah.
This
Almost at
this
3K.
IG
Yeah.
is wow.
Yeah,
Consistency, quality, and when you see his pictures, you get a craving for coffee, and like a
Guess-
person who drinks coffee like me a lot. And I think we bonded
Oh, yeah.
over a cup of coffee
Yeah,
in class,
yeah,
in
yeah.
pop culture class. And I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, that's great coffee.
yeah.
And then I said, yo, I love your shoes.
And I was like, oh, check out my Instagram.
Yeah, and then I was like, yeah, and then so yeah, check out _coffee and kicks. Great page to follow if
Appreciate
you
it,
want to
guys.
start,
Yeah.
getting the knowledge of shoes. He always posts
Yeah.
on his stories info about new collabs and companies and artists who are up and coming, and as well as he collabs with other shoe fanatics
people.
in Toronto.
Yeah, just trying to connect with everyone as
Yeah.
possible.
So
it's the
be
way
sure
to
to
be.
check him out.
Yeah.
And
Got
make
some
sure
nice
to
shoes.
make sure
See
to
the-
hit that like button, subscribe,
things that
and if you're listening to this on any audio platform, follow us, share it with a friend, and we'll be back for some more.
Yes,
All right,
sir.
take care, guys.
See ya.
Hey.
Later.
Yeah. Thanks for watching this episode of the Disruptive Podcast. Make sure to like the video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel, and check out our other social media platforms, IG, Twitter, and we're also on Spotify, iTunes, and Google Podcasts. So be sure to check us out and stay tuned.